My daughter-in-law breezed into the kitchen, her smile as polished as a game show host's. In her hands, 2 mugs of coffee steamed like a pair of miniature cauldrons. "Something special for you today," Patricia chirped, sliding one toward me. Her voice was syrup-sweet, the kind that leaves a film on your teeth. The coffee reeked, not spoiled, but wrong. Sharp. Chemical. 30 years as a prosecutor had honed my instincts, and right then, every one of them screamed. As she turned to the fridge, moving just a beat too slow, I swapped our cups. Thank God for identical mugs, subtlety was never my strong suit. "Perfect," she said, settling across from me with my original cup. "Drink up." Her grin was the kind you see in obituary photos. Michael, my son, was buried in the newspaper like always. 3 months married, 6 months of whirlwind romance. When you're after money, I suppose you don't waste time. I pretended to sip. She took a gulp, then flinched, setting the mug down too fast. Her eyes flickered, confusion flashing behind them like a warning light. She cleared her throat, forcing another smile, but her fingers trembled against the table. "Everything all right?" I asked, tilting my head. My voice was steady, almost innocent. Patricia swallowed hard, her throat working like she was trying to push down something bitter. "Just hotter than I expected," she muttered. I nodded, watching as a fine sheen of sweat pricked her forehead. The kitchen clock ticked louder, each second stretching thin. She reached for her cup again, hesitated, then took another sip, smaller this time. Her breath hitched. I leaned back in my chair, folding my hands in my lap. "You know, Patricia," I said softly, "I always wondered why you were in such a hurry to marry Michael." Her face paled. She opened her mouth, but no words came. The mug slipped from her grasp, hitting the floor with a dull thud. Coffee splashed across the tiles, dark as guilt. I didn't move. Didn't speak. Just watched as her eyelids fluttered, her body swaying like a sapling in the wind. When the paramedics arrived, they asked all the usual questions. I answered them calmly, my hands steady, my voice smooth. After all, 30 years as a prosecutor had taught me one thing: sometimes, justice doesn't need a courtroom. Sometimes, it just needs the right cup of coffee. 20 minutes later, the coughing started. Not a dainty throat clear, but body-racking heaves. "Something's wrong," she gasped, face flushing scarlet. Michael rushed in. "Hospital, now," she wheezed, clinging to him. As we sped to the ER, one thought looped: that coffee was meant for me. The hospital was chaos. Patricia deteriorated, rashes, choking, a performance worthy of an Oscar. When Michael offered to fetch her things, I almost applauded his timing. While he was gone, the doctor delivered the verdict: deliberate poisoning. Then, like a bad soap opera twist, Patricia pointed a miraculously steady finger at me. She did it. The police arrived. I told the truth: the smell, the switch, her drinking her own poison. Detective Martinez frowned. "If you suspected, why not just refuse?" Before I could answer, Michael chimed in: "Mom's been off lately. My own son." The detective's eyes narrowed as he scribbled in his notepad. I could see the pieces clicking together in his head: the suspicious mother-in-law, the convenient accusation, the son backing his wife's story. Patricia coughed weakly from her hospital bed, her fingers clutching the sheets like she was clinging to life itself. "She's always hated me," she whispered, her voice raw. Michael wouldn't meet my eyes. He stood by Patricia's side, his hand on her shoulder, his loyalty clear. I took a slow breath, steadying myself. "Check her phone," I said. Detective Martinez paused. "Excuse me?" "Her phone," I repeated. If I wanted to poison her, why would I do it in front of witnesses? Why not wait for a quieter moment? Patricia's grip on the sheets tightened. "That's ridiculous," she snapped, but there was a flicker in her eyes, something close to panic. Michael shifted uncomfortably. "Mom, stop this." The detective hesitated, then held out his hand. "Ma'am, I'll need to see your phone." Patricia's mouth opened, then closed. She glanced at Michael, a silent plea passing between them. The room was dead silent as the detective scrolled through her messages. Then his expression changed. He turned the screen toward Michael. "Did you get the stuff? It needs to look natural." Michael's face drained of color. Patricia sat up sharply, her earlier weakness vanishing. "That's not what it looks like." The detective's voice was ice. "Then explain what it does look like." I didn't say a word. I didn't have to. The truth was right there in black and white. Michael finally looked at me, his eyes wide with dawning horror. "Mom. I didn't know." Patricia's mask slipped completely. "You idiot," she hissed at him. The detective motioned to the officers by the door. "We'll need to take you both in for questioning." As they led Patricia away, she twisted to glare at me, her earlier performance forgotten. "This isn't over," she spat. I just smiled. Some poisons work fast. Others take time. And the slowest ones? Those are the ones you never see coming. They searched my house. Of course, they found a hidden bottle of toxins, a fake receipt, a list with Patricia's name, all planted. The handwriting? A decent forgery of mine. Convenient. Too convenient. Someone had used those hospital hours well. And only one person had access to my house, Michael. With a patrol car staking out my home, I called Frank, my old prosecutor partner. "They're arresting you tomorrow," he said. "Run." So I did, out the back, trains, buses, a fugitive in my golden years. At Frank's, we dug. Patricia didn't exist. Under aliases, she'd left a trail of dead husbands, food poisoning, sudden heart attacks. A black widow with a type, wealthy, lonely men. But how'd she plant evidence while hospitalized? Then I remembered, my doorbell camera. The footage was damning. Michael, sneaking into my house during the hospital trip, staying just long enough to frame his mother. Frank and I watched the video 3 times, the truth sinking deeper with each replay. There was my son, moving through my home like a thief, slipping poison into my spice cabinet, forging documents at my desk. "I can't believe he'd do this," I whispered, my voice breaking. Frank squeezed my shoulder. "She got to him, Margaret. People like her, they know how to twist love into something ugly." We worked through the night, tracing Patricia's past. Each new discovery was worse than the last: 3 dead husbands, 2 suspicious inheritances, and a trail of vanished relatives. By dawn, we had enough to bury her. But first, we had to stay ahead of the law. Frank arranged a meeting with Detective Martinez. "You've got the wrong person," he said, sliding a folder across the table. The detective flipped through the documents, his frown deepening. Then Frank played the doorbell footage. Martinez's face darkened. "This changes everything." But we weren't done yet. I needed to see Michael one last time. Frank set it up, a chance encounter at a roadside diner. My son walked in, shoulders hunched, eyes hollow. When he saw me, he froze. "Mom," he choked out. I didn't hug him. I didn't scream. I just looked at him and said, "Why?" His hands shook. "She made me believe you were dangerous. Said you'd never accept her, that you'd ruin everything." He swallowed hard. "I thought I was protecting us." "From me?" My voice cracked. "Michael, she was poisoning me. And when that failed, she made you help her frame me." Tears spilled down his face. "I didn't know about the others, the husbands. When I found out, I tried to back out, but she threatened to." He couldn't finish. I reached into my bag and placed a recorder on the table. The red light was still on. Michael's eyes widened. "What did you do?" "What I had to," I said softly. Patricia's arrest made headlines. The evidence was overwhelming: the footage, Michael's confession, the trail of bodies she'd left behind. My name was cleared, but some stains don't wash out. Michael got a plea deal for cooperating. He'll serve time, but not much. Sometimes I wonder if I should have fought for harsher punishment. Other times, I just mourn the son I thought I knew. Now I sit on my porch most evenings, watching the sunset. The neighbors whisper, but I don't care. I survived poison. I survived betrayal. And most importantly, I survived her. I stood outside their kitchen window, my phone pressed against the glass, recording every word. The night air was still, the only sound the hum of cicadas and the venom dripping from Patricia's lips. "We kill her tonight," she said, her fingers tracing the edge of a knife on the counter. "Say she came to finish the job. A desperate woman, unhinged, it'll be easy to sell." Michael's hands trembled as he poured himself a drink. "This is too far," he muttered. Patricia moved behind him, her voice a silken whisper. "Your mother never believed in you. Not like I do. With me, you matter." She pressed her lips to his ear. "With her gone, we're free." Then, as if sensing the weight of my gaze, she turned. Our eyes locked through the window. For a heartbeat, time froze. Her lips curled into a smile. "Eleanor, darling," she called, too sweet, too calm. Self-defense is such a flexible term. She reached for the gun in the drawer. I ran. But not before my phone captured every damning second. Frank met me at the precinct, his face grim. "You're sure about this?" I handed him the phone. "Play it." The detectives watched in silence as Patricia plotted my murder, as Michael wavered but didn't refuse. By the time the footage ended, the room was thick with tension. Frank exhaled. "That's all we need." The arrest was swift. Patricia fought, spitting curses. Michael went quietly, his eyes hollow. The trial was a spectacle. Patricia's past unraveled, husbands dead under suspicious circumstances, insurance payouts, aliases spanning 3 states. When the prosecution played the recording, the courtroom erupted. Patricia turned on Michael, screeching that he'd forced her hand. He fired back, revealing how she'd manipulated him, how she'd promised him wealth and purpose if he just handled his mother. Their love story crumbled into mutual destruction. The verdicts came down like hammer blows. Patricia, life without parole. Michael, 20 years. As they were led away in cuffs, I felt no victory, just the hollow weight of betrayal. My son had chosen money, chosen her, over me. But hey, at least I got the last laugh. Patricia's new home is a 6x8 cell with a view of concrete walls. She spends her days writing appeals that go nowhere and screaming at anyone who'll listen. Michael's cell is slightly bigger. He writes me letters sometimes, full of apologies I don't answer. And me? I've taken up bridge. Tuesday nights at the community center, with a group of sharp-eyed widows who don't ask questions. It's a quiet life. Less deadly than family. Like this story? Subscribe for more twisted tales. And drop a comment, where are you watching from?